the cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this crazy.
Donald Trump just took a harsh beating from legendary comedian Chris Rock. Rock roasted Trump so intensely that even Melania couldn't handle it, leading to a meltdown of epic proportions. The savage roast left Trump furious, the internet in an uproar, and MAGA supporters scrambling to defend him. Let's break it all down.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African-American in the world, the richest African-American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right. He is African-American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
Donald Trump getting roasted is hardly newsworthy. It's practically a national pastime. But this time, it wasn't just another late-night comedian or Twitter troll taking shots. It was Chris Rock, the comedy legend known for turning any meltdown, scandal, or billionaire tantrum into comedic gold, who delivered a takedown so brutal that even Melania, usually as animated as a Madame Tussauds wax figure, couldn't hide her reaction. Let's be real. Trump has been the punchline of jokes for decades. From pretending to be a self-made billionaire, spoiler, he's not, to bragging about his big, strong brain, spoiler, it's not, he's basically a walking setup for comedy. But this roast hit differently, not just because Rock's delivery was spot on, but because it struck Trump where it hurts the most, his ego. Picture this, Rock steps onto the stage, mic in hand, eyes sparkling with that signature mischief that signals someone is about to be verbally obliterated, and that someone? None other than America's favorite spray-tanned sore loser. With razor-sharp wit, Rock ripped into Trump's reality TV-style leadership, his social media meltdowns, RIP, Twitter bird, and perhaps the greatest mystery of all, how he managed to go bankrupt running casinos. It was a masterclass in comedic takedowns, leaving Trump's ego bruised and the audience roaring.
They got Elon. They gonna put him on a rocket ship. We call it Space Max. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's gonna marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. The audience erupted into laughter. Meanwhile, Trump's signature radioactive orange complexion reportedly shifted to an alarming shade of beet red. Then came the knockout blow. Chris Rock compared Trump to a washed-up sitcom character, think Al Bundy, but with 91 felony charges and a dangerous addiction to spray-on hair. The room went wild. Trump, whose skin is thinner than a CVS receipt, allegedly lost it. Insiders claim he spiraled into full meltdown mode, pacing around Mar-a-Lago like a wind-up toy running low on batteries. Maybe he called his lawyer? Maybe he called Rudy Giuliani, who, let's face it, probably answered from the bottom of a bottle. Either way, panic mode was officially activated.
Thank you very much. Okay, before we even get started, let's hey, the elephant in the room. President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID.
Trump's whole persona is built on the illusion of being untouchable, yet here was Chris Rock effortlessly tearing it apart in front of the world. Even worse, Rock isn't just any comedian, he's the guy so sharp with his words that even Will Smith couldn't handle it. Too soon? If Trump thought he could brush this off, he must have confused it with one of his rallies, where the crowd is about as diverse as a jar of mayonnaise. Naturally, the internet had a field day. Memes, tweets, and reaction videos flooded social media faster than Trump can scream, "Witch hunt."
That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
Even people who don't usually follow politics couldn't resist watching the former president get verbally demolished by one of the greatest comedians alive. And if Trump's past behavior is any clue, he'll soon be rage posting on Truth Social, aka Twitter's irrelevant cousin, calling Rock a loser, a hack, and of course his favorite go-to, unfunny. But let's be real. Trump getting mad at a joke is as predictable as the sunrise. Chris Rock didn't just roast him, he did what America has been doing for years. Laughed at the absurdity of a man who once stared directly at a solar eclipse and thought he was winning.
Everybody's worried. Everybody's worried. I mean, we got Luigi. We got Luigi, you know, that's good. I really feel sorry for the family. I mean, everybody's fixated on how good looking this guy looks. If he looked like Jonah Hill, no one would care. They'd already given him a chair already. Be dead, okay?
Chris Rock didn't just take shots at Trump's usual disasters, like when he suggested nuking hurricanes or stared directly into a solar eclipse like he was trying to win a staring contest with the sun. No, this time, Rock went deeper, hitting Trump where it really hurts, his desperate need to be taken seriously, despite his cartoonishly ridiculous actions. Think about it. This is the same guy who tried to Sharpie his way out of a hurricane forecast, blatantly altering a map like a fourth grader trying to change their grades before their parents see it. The man tossed paper towels at hurricane victims as if he were hosting some dystopian version of The Price is Right. And let's not forget, in front of cameras and medical experts, he casually suggested injecting disinfectant to fight a deadly virus, like a deranged infomercial host pushing the world's worst life hack. Chris Rock, being the razor-sharp comedian he is, wasn't about to let that slide. He took Trump's absurd greatest hits and amplified them, showcasing just how bizarre and out of touch the former president truly is. Rock's comedy doesn't settle for surface-level roasts. It thrives on exposing the absurdity lurking beneath the facade. He knows Trump isn't just a guy who says dumb things. He's a guy who says them with absolute conviction, as if trying to will stupidity into reality through sheer force of confidence.
Nothing's gonna happen to Trump. Here's the crazy thing. It might just work out. Trump might work out. Yeah, I said it. Trump might work out. I mean, think about it this way. Bush was so bad, he gave us Obama.
Chris Rock didn't just poke fun at Trump's infamous moments like his awkward rally dance to YMCA, where he moved like a malfunctioning animatronic at Chuck E. Cheese. Rock painted the picture perfectly, capturing the essence of a man so out of sync with reality that even his dance moves seemed to exist in a different dimension. And of course, there was Trump's obsession with crowd sizes. Rock had a field day with that, likening Trump to a teenager lying about how many people came to their birthday party. No one had a bigger crowd than me? Sure, buddy. And no one lost the popular vote by a bigger margin while still claiming it was a landslide. But Rock didn't just stick to the obvious. He delved into Trump's pettiness, the way he slaps his name on everything like a desperate real estate agent trying to sell a bad product. Trump Tower, Trump Steaks, Trump University, each one a monument to the idea that if you say something is great enough times, maybe people will start believing it. And Rock, of course, didn't miss the golden opportunity to bring up Trump's endless legal troubles. Multiple indictments, the hush money scandal, the never-ending investigations. It all proved that if Trump weren't a former president, he'd be a recurring character on Law and Order. Rock made it clear that Trump isn't just a chaotic politician, he's a walking SNL sketch that stopped being funny a long time ago. His comedic takedown wasn't just about laughs. It was about holding up a mirror to the absurdity of an era where the most powerful man in the world operated with the logic of a reality TV contestant. And in true Chris Rock fashion, he left the audience both in stitches and shaking their heads, wondering how we let it get this far. And then there's Melania. Poor Melania, trapped in this reality show nightmare for years. After all the side eyes, the hand swats, and the help me gazes in photo ops, she finally snapped. Because if there's one thing Melania Trump can't stand, besides, well, her husband, it's being dragged into his circle of humiliation. And this time, she wasn't just part of the joke. She was center stage. Rock's joke wasn't just about Trump. It was about the dynamic between Donald and Melania. If body language could file for divorce, Melania's posture would have done it in 2017. Rock's roast exposed what we all kind of knew but never said out loud. Melania has been running the longest unpaid internship in First Lady history.
Be a war hero that got captured. I don't want to vote for nobody that got captured.
there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly.
On the Kelly file, McCain's daughter Megan couldn't be angrier.
My father has been in public office since before I was born, and this is one of the grossest, most disgusting comments I've ever heard, which is really saying something. I'm 30 years old. And it's because it's not just an attack on my father, it's an attack on all veterans, and it's an attack on all POWs.
She finally lost it. Melania threw a tantrum so massive it probably registered on the Richter scale. For years, she's coasted through this surreal nightmare with designer sunglasses and vague statements about be best, all while secretly plotting her escape. Let's be real, Melania Trump has always played the role of the reluctant hostage in this political sitcom. When she's not dodging Trump's hand like it's covered in expired KFC grease, she's delivering the most deadpan, soul-drained speeches imaginable. Remember when she copied Michelle Obama's speech word for word, like a high schooler scrambling to finish a last-minute book report? That's Melania in a nutshell, trapped, detached, and perpetually confused about how she ended up here. And yet, through it all, she's managed to keep her emotions buried under 10 layers of Botox and sheer willpower. Until now, Chris Rock cracked the code. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets under Melania's skin like the reminder that she's stuck playing the world's most awkward First Lady cosplay while pretending to enjoy her husband's company. But honestly, can we blame her? Let's take a moment to appreciate just how absurd this marriage is. Melania went from being a model to marrying a man who paints himself the color of a traffic cone and genuinely believes the term stable genius applies to him. This is the same guy who thinks exercise drains your body's energy like a 90s Tamagotchi, who believes wind turbines cause cancer, and who once tried to buy Greenland like it was a Costco deal. This is what Melania wakes up to every morning. This is her life.
Can I help you?
Calm down, man. I missed the last category. You win?
No, we didn't win, all right?
Oh, that's a bummer.
So when Chris Rock unleashed that roast, it wasn't just about humiliating Trump. It was about finally saying what everyone's been thinking. Melania is trapped, and it's both tragic and hilarious. Of course, Trump being Trump, he didn't take it well. The man has two settings, rage tweeting, or now rage truthing since he got booted from Twitter, and denying reality. With his stubby little fingers still busy trying to convince the world he won an election he lost by 7 million votes, you can bet his reaction to Chris Rock was unhinged. He probably started with his greatest hits. Nobody's ever been treated worse than me. Chris Rock is failing. Fake news. Many people are saying. And when that didn't work, he likely spiraled into his classic Trump meltdown, frantically calling his lawyers, claiming defamation, and threatening to sue a comedian for, well, doing what comedians do. While Trump fumed, Melania erupted. Let's be honest, Melania Trump is not in the business of damage control. This is the same woman who once wore a jacket that literally said, "I really don't care, do you?" on a trip to visit children in cages. Subtlety? Not her thing. So when she flipped out, she went full nuclear. Imagine the most epic meltdown you've ever seen. Now multiply that by 10 and add a Slovenian accent. You can almost picture her storming through Trump Tower, knocking over golden chairs, screaming at staff and tossing priceless gaudy decor left and right. Because if there's one thing Melania hates more than being married to Donald Trump, it's being publicly embarrassed for being married to Donald Trump.
Because you think a lot of parents would, encourage their children's kind of high aspirations.
Yes.
But like you told your mom,
When I was a kid, before I wanted to be a comedian, my dream was to be the president of the United States. It's the only real job I ever wanted, okay? Only time I wanted an office. I wanted to be the president of the United States. And I told my mother, she's like,
And here's the kicker. Chris Rock's roast wasn't just hilarious, it was devastatingly accurate. Because at the end of the day, Trump is a man who desperately wants to be feared and respected, but ends up looking like a rejected extra from a low-budget reality show about failed business moguls. And Melania? She's just waiting for the season finale where she can finally make her grand exit. So, what's next for the Trump-Melania saga? Well, if history has taught us anything, Trump will never stop being a walking punchline, Chris Rock will keep collecting standing ovations, and Melania, she's got two options: keep dodging his hand-holding attempts, or start shopping for divorce attorneys. Either way, one thing's for sure, Chris Rock just handed America its new favorite joke. And for once, Melania might actually agree.